Hello, people. So it's almost evening. I mean, it is a few hours past evening, and I have one very interesting topic to talk to you, and that is horror movies. Okay, now where I am, my mother can listen to me directly, and I have a feeling that she will not like me talking about this topic ever again because horror movies in our household were a taboo. Now, what is a taboo? A taboo is something that is not allowed to, like, not allowed by people, those who love you, those who care for you. And sometimes there is a taboo from society about certain things. Okay, so I wanted to talk about a lot of taboos for a very long time. Okay, and at the same time I wanted to like see that if we can work around these taboos or not. Now people, let us please note that when I'm talking about ghosts and horror movies, it doesn't mean that I am encouraging you to watch horror movies, or I am encouraging you to not to watch horror movies, or that I am kind of promoting the idea of superstition, ghosts, etc. So, people, just notice that I understand that just like in my household, there might be other households where talking about ghosts are not really that acceptable. And because why? So, I'll tell you why it is not acceptable in my household, because my parents are extremely concerned that it will not do that good to my thinking power. It will take away a lot of my time. And whenever I like it, remember that there was this like last year, I think, it was still very cold. It was winter, and I was playing back to back horror movies. Okay, and I just wanted to watch horror movies again and again, and I just wanted to think and talk about ghosts with whoever I was visiting. And because I was binge watching horror movies, and whichever neighbor I would meet, I would tell them that these days I'm just into watching horror movies, etc. Now, people, uh, I mean, the moment my parents would see me or my grandmother would see me, she would complain that don't stop watching horror movies like that. Okay. At the same time, they would sometimes watch these movies with me, but then they would get scared. Okay, that God knows what is she up to, and they would get bit scared about my productivity, about what I'm doing, etc. Now, this is one idea that I have associated with horror movies. Okay, like the moment I want to watch some horror movies, uh, you know, let's say there is this serial called Ahat, right? And I don't know if I'm not promoting the serial. I'm just telling that sometimes I badly want to play that serial and watch it again and again. Now the thing is that people, that when we watch these many horror movies, okay, we feel that kind of a thrill, that that house, that building, that thing, okay, and those things, right? Those very village rustic vibes, etc. Sometimes I get extremely scared, and I feel like like, oh God, what is this happening? Sometimes I feel like this is just enjoyable and fine. Okay, but then at the same time, I have noticed that there is some, like, there is a kind of a like thing about horror movies that I find very interesting. Okay, like just today, I was like doing some work, and I came across this very short trailer of a horror movie where there is this female. Okay, that there is this female figure, completely dressed in black, and this figure is sitting at the garden of a household, and the children from inside, they get to look at her and they get scared that who is this? Okay, and they start to scream, and all those scary, gory stuff happens in the movie. And I'm not going to give you the example of those many other horror movies, like where the students, they plan that we need to go to the trip, and they go to that trip, and then they end up in that very haunted house, and then they get scared, etc., etc. Okay, so what happens eventually is that, like, I have noticed that these horror movies, they use a kind of a technique, okay, that usually the setting is far away from the society, and usually everything is so scary and lonely, and these people do end up in these houses. Now, long back in my life, I had watched this meme, okay, where there were these people who had walked in to the household, and it was a haunted house, and people have wandered, but then they were happy carrying their little boxes, walking into that haunted household. And like, s- I mean, just imagine that, I mean, despite everything and all the scary stuff out there, we like to watch horror movies. Now, long back, I was feeling a bit of curiosity, like, what is it exactly that uh, that makes us feel so much attracted to ghost stories and horror movies out there? Okay, so I feel that, like, the things, for example, things like um those large buildings, maybe those rustic scenes, and also maybe that crazy cloudy weather. Okay, and it was that scary thing that would keep us hooked to the movie, and at the same time give us a feeling of, I don't know, thrill, maybe mystery, maybe suspense, etc. So at the same time, I felt that, it is also a bit sad that we get to like, portray houses, villages, even an entire city in a very scary, horrific way, right? So why is it that the thing, like, why is it that we don't, I mean, get to detach ourselves from these kind of horror movies? Maybe because of the circumstances, okay, maybe because we kind of develop a link with our environment and with those things out there, okay, like the horror movies, the things out there, the eerie music setup. And like, I had developed a habit where I would play very scary kind of music that was usually played in the horror movies. And like, often my parents would scold me a lot because of playing these songs, these kind of dark, gloomy music. And my parents, like, like, my mother is just out there. Probably she is even listening to me. My parents would often scold me because they would find me that, like, I'm listening to sad and dark music, and it would be that crazy, like, and I remember that back at that time I was in a horror movie spree. Now, does it help us to be able to watch horror movies? Well, it does. Okay. Sometimes we love to watch horror movies that we think are, very, um, very much, you know, uh, inspiring. Like, there are some people who draw solutions from horror movies, and they get motivated by watching these videos and these trailers, etc. But what has happened these days is that our work life has become very busy, and we have become super successful in life, and we have moved on with life. Okay? And we also have decided that we won't do something that is wrong to us. Okay, now while it is very interesting and happy to be talking about ghosts and horror movies and like that environment, those atmosphere, uh, it is also very interesting to be talking about something, like other things, like more productivity things like money, finances, work, etc. And at the same time, it is also very important for us to understand that slowly these two worlds are getting separated. Okay, like there is this one world which was very what can I say, which was very productive, happy, glorious, and there is this other world where like horror movies and abandoned households were a reality. And eventually households that what can I say, households that are lonely will disappear because of the population, because of work, etc. Now, and the new kind of life, the very busy, productive, cheerful kind of life, will also become a reality. Okay, now what does that make of us? Okay, those who are stuck in a limbo, like, should I live life like how I have been, or should I make a move and should I live life in a very different way? Do what serves your parents, do what serves the good of your society, do what serves the your purpose of holiness, also do what serves your purpose of modesty. Okay, let's say today you have a fashion brand. Okay, and you have a clear idea of what modesty is, and then you go on creating kind of clothes because of commercial availability, because of like um, commercial availability, because of commercial uh, prosperity, clothes that are not that modest, you know and you still like get worried about modesty. Now that is not going to work anymore, right? Our world is becoming a world of labels, right? Also, another thing is, people, please understand that today, if you have a clear idea of what entertainment is, what infidelity is, okay, what it is to live in a household where you think that you you are not being true to yourself, your partner, or your surroundings, what will happen is that you will keep on um, doing things that you will not be okay with. Okay, and eventually it will kind of create that wave where you are stuck, because you have been taught that I mean, unless and until you are busy, productive, nothing can happen, and you are of course always busy and doing things. Okay, eventually what will happen, people will start to notice that you are still available for these kind of rather you know things with ulterior motives, and you are available. And then eventually people will be, these kind of people will also be available around you. Now ask yourself, that is that something that you want to live with? No, right? Also, you know, when I watch horror movies, I have this concern. I feel a little bit concerned that, the way, I mean, see, I mean, I don't want to demean any director, musician, artist out there, but I feel like the way people are portrayed in horror movies, it creates a very traumatic experience also. But then at the same time, we also enjoy that, right? So just be careful about what life is and what is it that you're watching. And the most important idea that probably you get out of a horror movie is that people and their cry for help, constant cry for help, right? So, what is it that you can do? Maybe if you feel motivated by a horror movie to go out there and help people, maybe you can definitely help people. Maybe you can reach out there for people and be there for people. Okay. And also, you can stay productive, keep yourself safe, keep yourself happy and energetic. Okay.